Hello everyone, my name is Curtis. Today I'm reviewing House of Payne, Season 14, Episode 20. This episode is centered around the following storyline. So the first storyline involved Calvin and Malik. So Calvin wants Malik to get in a more healthier space. He wants him to go out and jog, go out and run, go to the gym. So that was the focus of the first storyline. And the second storyline, Malik is trying to tell Calvin that when it comes to him and Laura, it's over. Like, I know that you are in love with her, but he just has to let that situation go. When it comes to the third storyline, Calvin, he is struggling to actually let Laura go. He is calling her, he is texting her over and over again. So he's not really stalking her per se, but he's definitely reaching out more than he probably should. When it comes to the fourth storyline, Curtis actually comes over, has a conversation with Calvin, and lets him know that he actually had a conversation with Laura and her father. And this actually does make Calvin a little emotional. And then when it comes to the final storyline, Calvin pretty much realizes that it's over, it's time to move on. I'm not really sure if he really means it or not because he did get even more emotional, but that was how that storyline ended. Before I elaborate on the storylines that I just mentioned, I do have a question for those who are subscribed to me. So as you all can see, I'm only reviewing one show per week. I'm used to reviewing multiple shows, so a show that I was reviewing was Sisters. I decided to take a break from it for this first half of the season, and I want to pick it up on the second half. But the question I do have is, are there any shows out there that you all would like for me to review? If so, please leave them in the comments. I will take a look at them and I'll let you know if I can add it to the lineup. Alright, so now that I got that out of the way, I'm going to get started with the full review. The episode begins with Calvin and Malik going into Calvin's apartment. So we see Calvin, he's smiling, he's happy, everything seems good. But then when we see Malik, he is out of breath. He's basically hyperventilating, he's sweating. I was like, what is going on? They actually just went on a run because Calvin wants Malik to be healthier. And so Calvin, he's talking to him as if they're getting ready to keep doing these runs. Malik was like, I'm not about to keep doing these runs. He was like, why not? He was like, do you not see me sweating? Do you not hear me breathing hard? Like, I am not built to be out here running and jogging all the time. Like, this is not something that I can do. Calvin continues to try to convince Malik that he should continue running, continue jogging. Malik, he's not trying to hear that. He's like, look, I'm just going to get a gym membership so I can work at my own pace. Calvin's like, you know what, fine. And so the two of them, they continue to talk, and as they are talking, they bring up work. And so Calvin was like, well, I actually have to work from home today, but I'm actually a little distracted. Malik was like, well, why are you distracted? He was like, because I'm thinking about Laura. Malik was just like, oh my God, are you still talking about Laura? Like, why are you bringing Laura up? Like, I thought this situation was over. Didn't you two break up? Like, what is it about Laura? Why do you keep bringing her up? So he was just like, I mean, are you trying to say that you do not feel like Laura is the one for me? He was like, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that she's not the one for you per se. But what I am saying is that she left you not once, but twice. He brings up the fact that she left last year. Calvin was like, well, I mean, she got a good reason. Peanut, he was trying to hook me up with somebody. She went on my laptop, she saw the information, so she ended up leaving. And Malik was like, yeah, I understand all of that, but she left without even talking to you. Like, she didn't even give you an opportunity to explain yourself. Calvin asked Malik, what should he do? Malik tells him that he needs to spend more time with his kids, spend time with his family, and also spend some time to himself because he feels like Calvin did not take the time out in between Miranda and Laura. Like, it seems like right after the situation with Miranda, he just kind of jumped into a relationship. He was like, yeah, I mean, I met Laura right after, so I mean, I just kind of jumped into it. So Malik was like, well, I mean, look how that worked out. And so Calvin was like, listen, I cannot leave Laura right now. I'm going to keep trying. I just feel like things are going to work out. I can't leave her alone until I know for sure that it's just not going to work out. Malik was like, okay, well, you do that. I hope things work out for you. I'm not really sure if it will, but you know what? Best of luck to you. After this, Calvin actually goes over to CJ's house. He goes over there to see CJ, but CJ's not there. He's downtown. But Janine and Jasmine are in the kitchen. And so he tells him that he's having a hard time sending a text message to Laura, so he wants him to kind of help him out. And so he does let them hear like what he wrote. So he says it out loud. And it sounds good from afar, but when it comes to Janine, she's like, I'm not really sure about this. Like, what exactly are you even trying to accomplish with this text? And he was saying that I really want her to just have dinner with me so we can talk. And so she was like, you just want to have dinner? Okay, so are you trying to hook up? He was like, no, I'm not necessarily trying to hook up. I'm really just trying to have a conversation and see how we vibe. And if it just so happens that we end up having sex afterwards, then that does happen. But that's not the main point or the main reason why I wanted to come over. Janine tells him that when it comes to Laura, he should not reach out to her, whether it's through text or through a phone call, unless he truly intends to be with her. If it's a situation where he plans to play with her emotions, kind of string her along, then just leave her alone. Do not reach out to her unless he truly wants to be with her and truly wants to work it out. But his whole thing is like, how am I supposed to know if I really want to work things out with her if I can't talk to her? Like, I'm reaching out to her, she's not responding. Like, how am I supposed to come to the conclusion of if it's going to work or if it's not going to work if I can't talk to her? And I was like, you know what? That is a good point. Janine tells him that, if it's going to work out, it's going to work out. Like, stop trying to force the situation to happen. It seems like from afar, you're just trying to force this relationship to work out. You're trying to force this engagement to be back to what it was so you can force some type of marriage. Like, her whole thing is like, you just need to stop trying to force the matter. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. Just relax, calm down. Everything's going to work itself out. But just stop harassing her with all of these text messages and these phone calls. And since I'm talking about Calvin, Jasmine, and Janine, I do want to point out that when it comes down to Janine, Jasmine, and Ella, they were having a conversation in the kitchen. And while they were having a conversation, Jasmine did slip up and let Ella know that Calvin was trying to get back with Laura, and you all know Ella was not happy about that. Going back to Calvin, we see him inside of his apartment. He reaches out to Laura, but she does not pick up, so he has to leave a voice message. And the voice message was very thoughtful, but you can hear the desperation in his voice. So after he hangs up, we see Curtis. He comes inside and he says, "Hey, I do want to talk to you real quick." So Calvin's like, "Okay, what do you want to talk about?" And so he actually looks over at Curtis and he could tell that this is serious. So it's like, "Oh, it's one of those talks. Okay, let's go to the couch and let's talk." Curtis asks Calvin how is he managing the breakup. Calvin says, "You know what, I'm managing it pretty well." And then he asked him, "Have you been reaching out to Laura?" He was like, "No," at first, but then he was like, "Well, you know what, to be honest with you, I have been reaching out." And so this is when Curtis lets him know that he actually received a phone call from Laura and her father. So Calvin was like, "You received a phone call from Laura and her father? Like, what did they say?" And then he said that they told him that they do not want Calvin to reach out to Laura anymore. Like, he has been reaching out constantly, sending all these text messages, making all of these phone calls, basically stalking Laura. Like, they do not want him to reach out anymore. I said, wow. Calvin was just like, oh my God. Like, he was just so confused. He was like, well, why didn't she reach out to me and let me know? He was like, because she doesn't want to talk to you. That was the whole point of the conversation that I had with her and her father. They're tired of you reaching out, sending all these text messages and all these phone calls. They feel like you are stalking her. So they reached out to me to try to talk to you to kind of convince you to stop reaching out. And so he was just like, I mean, what else did she say? And so he was like, I mean, she pretty much said that she wants to move on with her life. She wants to put the Payne situation behind her. And that basically she sends her best wishes and that she's going to keep you in her prayers. I was like, God damn. Calvin cannot believe this. He's just like, is this really happening right now? Like, how did we go from being engaged, being in love, being this power couple to all of a sudden now I'm stalking? Now she doesn't want to talk to me. Now she's reaching out to you to reach out to me to let me know she doesn't want to speak to me. Like, how did this happen? Curtis was just like, look, that is life. Things happen. You just have to move on. And so Calvin, he's really sitting there thinking about it. He's like, you know what? I don't appreciate the fact that she involved not only you but her father in our relationship issues. Like, why would she even do that? So he starts to get upset and he pulls out his phone. And so Curtis was like, please put the phone down. He was like, why? He was like, because if you reach out to her, you're going to be angry, you're going to be upset, and now you are really going to look like a stalker. And so Calvin, he tries to reason with Curtis to try to explain why he wants to do what he wants to do. Curtis was like, listen, it's over, let it go, it's done. Calvin becomes really emotional at this point because he's just like, damn, like I just envisioned things going so much differently. When I met Laura, I just thought I would get married, she'd be my wife, I would have my kids here, everything will work out great. But it's just falling apart, it's just crumbling before my eyes. Like, I'm putting in the work, like, what am I doing wrong? And Curtis was like, listen, when it comes to try to work things out with somebody, they have to be willing to work things out with you as well. And it's pretty clear that she does not want to work things out with you. And then this is the part when Calvin decided that he wanted to try to put his foot down and say that he felt like the family never gave Laura a chance. And I was like, this conversation is a little too late, Calvin. Like, you should have had this conversation a long time ago. Like, you waited until she was pretty much, not even that she's done. It's over with. She's already called your father with her father and said that it's over. Stop calling her, stop texting her, basically calling you a stalker. Like, it's over. Like, you waited too long to have this conversation. Curtis was just like, hold on, first of all, don't try to blame the family for what's going on between you and Laura. You two were toxic. And so Calvin was like, listen, when it comes to relationships, every relationship has its difficulties. Curtis was like, no, nothing like your relationship. Like that shit was toxic. It was all over the place. It was a mess. You can't blame anybody other than you two. It had nothing to do with us. Curtis then tells him that he will know when he has found the right one because he'll be able to feel it, and also he will have peace of mind. It's not going to be any toxicity, it's just going to be peace. And so Calvin was like, well, when it comes to Ella, does she give you peace of mind? He was like, hell yeah, compared to the ones that I was dealing with before, she definitely gives me peace of mind. I enjoy being married to her. We are not toxic. It's not perfect, but it is something where I can say that we are in a good place most of the time. Calvin then says that, he wanted to build a house similar to the one that Curtis has. So it's like the house that you built, the way that I saw you and Ella, the way that the family dynamic worked, that's what I was trying to build over here. Curtis was like, listen, you can't do that. You have to build your own house. You can't try to replicate what you saw growing up. You have to do your own thing. And so they continue to talk, and then Curtis is like, I mean, when it comes to Laura, do you feel like you are ready to let that situation go? Are you over it? He says yes, they hug, but to be honest with you, I'm not really sure if he really meant it. He was really, really emotional, so I'm not really sure how he's really internalizing this, but I can tell you for sure, I just feel like he's probably going to make a couple of more phone calls to Laura. Or, and this is just an or he's going to try to drive a wedge between Miranda and old boy. And speaking of Miranda, I don't think she's been on the show since episode 14. I feel like since they are pretty much phasing Laura out, they're probably going to bring Miranda back in, which I am going to look forward to because what I'm noticing about this show is that when it's not really focused on Laura or Miranda, it is a little dry. So I do hope that they do bring Miranda back. It will be a shame, if he does cause disruption within a relationship, but I feel like it will be good TV. And that was the end of the episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I do want to go back to something I mentioned earlier in the video. So when it comes to TV shows that you all watch, just let me know if you would like for me to review something else. I do want to add something else to the lineup. I'm not really used to just reviewing one show per week. So if you all have some TV shows that you will be interested in me reviewing, just let me know in the comments, okay? Well, if you could, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll really appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.